What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Star Wars edition of the Ragin Nation Show. This is the web series where we talk about all things matter to me in the world of Star Wars films. This is episode number 22, and I'm sure by now you guys have all read the big news, and that is J.J. Abrams has officially dethroned James Cameron by taking the #1 top spot for the highest grossing film of all time in North America. That would be the domestic box office. As of yesterday, last night to be specific, January 6th, Wednesday, Star Wars The Force Awakens is now the #1 highest grossing film in North America. A title which was originally held by James Cameron with Avatar for 6 years. Can you believe that? Avatar held the top spot for 6 years, and no other film could beat it until Star Wars The Force Awakens came out. It had to be a Star Wars film. When you really think about it, there was no way any other film could take out Avatar from the #1 spot except for another James Cameron film or Star Wars. So it had to be Star Wars. And what's very crazy about this whole phenomenon is that in 7 months, which is the entire theatrical run of Avatar made $760 million. In 21 days, Star Wars The Force Awakens made $764 million. That's 21 days. That's only 3 weekends. Avatar had 7 months to do that. But Star Wars, with all the hype surrounding it, and all the fandom, and all the repeat viewings, it made a lot of money in North America, and it still has a lot of money to be made. This is only the 3rd weekend. In the first weekend, it opened with $248 million. In the second weekend, it dropped a little bit to $149 million, and on the 3rd weekend, $90 million. What do you think the next weekend, or rather the coming weekend, is going to make? $50 to $60 million? That's what I'm thinking. That's still pretty good. That's still going to be high enough to keep it in the #1 spot for the weekend box office domestically. So that is really, really good. Now, the Blu-ray is scheduled to be released in April, so it doesn't have the advantage of a 7-month theatrical run. It still only really has 3.5 months to go, but that's still a lot of money to be made. Now, I originally thought that Star Wars The Force Awakens was going to end domestically in its theatrical run at $691 million. Sinking Titanic, but not beating out Avatar. I was way off. It's still going to be making lots of money. It's probably going to make somewhere between $800 and $900, but I don't think it's going to make $1 billion domestically. I don't think it's going to happen. It's starting to drop. As you can see, in the last couple of days, it hasn't been doing that strong. I mean, Monday it did 8 million, Tuesday it did another 8 million, and Wednesday it did 6 million. So I originally thought that last weekend it was going to take Avatar, but it took the weekend and 3 more days to take on Avatar. So it finally happened, and I no longer feel the need to keep track of the domestic box office as of now. Now, J.J. Abrams has to take another throne away, or rather another crown away from James Cameron, and that is the highest grossing film of all time at $2.7 billion worldwide. That's what Avatar has, all right, in its worldwide box office take. Do you think Star Wars The Force Awakens can do it? Analysts are saying that it's going to end anywhere between $2.2 and $2.4 billion, and that is you know, I think that's a pretty safe statement to make, to believe that, or rather to even like grasp the concept of Star Wars taking out Avatar. That's gonna be a tall order. I just don't think it's gonna happen. All right, I know it's gonna end somewhere above 2 billion, but I don't think it's going to be above 2.7 billion. That just sounds really, really crazy. But keep in mind, it has not opened in China yet until this weekend. All right, so this weekend it's going to happen, this Saturday to be in fact. So who knows? All right, the biggest film, biggest Hollywood film in China is actually Furious 7. So I'm not sure why they prefer Furious 7 over some other films that came out, but I'm really curious how they're gonna feel about Star Wars. All right, so yeah, Really, really crazy stuff. How much do you think Star Wars is going to end theatrically, both domestically and worldwide? Let me know in the comment section below. Moving on, we got to talk about other Star Wars stuff. And let's talk about the other Star Wars film that is coming out. There's another Star Wars film coming out this year, in fact. If you've forgotten, it's Star Wars Rogue One. That would be part of the Star Wars Anthology series, which they're now retitling Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And it has a poster. I don't actually know if this is fan-made or official. I think it is fan-made. Maybe you guys can verify that for me, but it's a pretty cool poster. You see the Star Wars in the background, and you see, I believe that would be Yavin. And this, of course, teases the fact that this is going to be about the elite X-Wing pilots who are going to steal the Death Star plans. So, very, very exciting stuff. If someone can confirm that this is a fan-made poster, that would be much appreciated. Speaking of Rogue One and its promotional material, when are we going to see that teaser? Well, it has been rumored that the teaser trailer for Rogue One will come out with Captain America Civil War. So that sounds quite appropriate, considering that not only is it a big film, but it is owned by Disney, and Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios are both owned by Disney. So therefore, it makes sense for the teaser to come out with Captain America Civil War. So we got February, March, April. We got 4 more months to go, just a little bit over 4 months, and we're going to see that teaser. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about the next Star Wars film that comes out after that. Episode 8, directed by Rian Johnson. The script is complete, and apparently J.J. Abrams has read that script, and after reading the script, he kind of shows a little bit of regret, because based on this headline, and based on this quote, it says that J.J. Abrams loves the next Star Wars script so much he wishes he were directing it, and this is what he has to say. Or rather, this is what Greg Grunberg, that the character of Matt Parker on Heroes, he says that he read it and said something he never ever says. He said, "It was so good, I wish I were making it." Wow, that sounds crazy. It sounds better than Star Wars: The Force Awakens, or maybe he's just being humble. And but yeah, I mean, Rian Johnson, he directed Looper, which was an example of really, really high concept science fiction. So I have a feeling that he's going to bring his brand of storytelling with all the twists and turns into Episode 8. Now, if I know Star Wars like I think I know Star Wars, I'm going to say that Episode 8 is going to be like the Empire Strikes Back of the sequel trilogy. And that is, we're going to see some twists and turns, we're going to see some reveals, we're going to see some revelations and new discoveries and things that'll make us, go like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be really exciting. A lot of people were thinking that it comes out 2 years from now. No, it's actually not 2 years. It's a year and a half. That would be May of 2017. So after Rogue One comes out, which is roughly a year from now, we only have to wait another 5 months, and then after that we get to see Episode 8. So really, really exciting stuff. Now moving on, what comes out after Episode 8? Well, that would be the untitled Han Solo solo film, which is part of the Star Wars Anthology series, and Lawrence Kasdan, who is the writer of the Han Solo film, he said that the Han Solo film will actually take place 10 years before A New Hope. So we're not going to see his origins from when he was a kid or when he was born and all that. We're going to see more specifically the Han Solo adventures. So most likely we're going to see Chewbacca, or how he meets Chewbacca, and we're going to see all types of smuggling goodness and him being chased by bounty hunters. And it's going to be pretty awesome. It's directed by Lego Movie directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and they're going to keep it fun, as you already have seen their work from 21 Jump Street. So it's going to be pretty funny, and I think that's what we need, because Han Solo, he's he's a really, really fun character. So we're going to see Han Solo at his youthfulness. This is 10 years before A New Hope. So that's going to be very, very awesome. Now, you cannot have a Han Solo solo film without having a Boba Fett solo film. Now, I'm pretty sure that Boba Fett is going to be introduced in the Han Solo film. Or maybe not, I don't know, but I'm just throwing it out there. Now, in 2020, which is a year after Episode 9 comes out in 2019, we are going to be getting the Boba Fett solo film. The Boba Fett Star Wars story, alright? So, this is really exciting stuff. Star Wars The Force Awakens just came out. We're going to get Rogue One. We're going to get Episode 8. We're going to get Han Solo. We're going to get Episode 9 to conclude the sequel trilogy. And then we're going to get the Boba Fett anthology film. Really, really exciting stuff, man. Star Wars has no sign of slowing down. We're essentially getting a Star Wars film a year. Now, I'm just curious, are they going to continue it with Episode 10? I mean, they may as well. They may as well continue with Episode 10, maybe 30 years after the events of Episode 9 and, you know, introduce a bunch of new characters. As long as they keep this formula, they can keep on going with new actors and new faces and new stories, keeping it fresh. We love Star Wars. I mean, fans love Star Wars. I mean, fandom was essentially created with Star Wars. And that is why Episode 7, The Force Awakens, has made so much money. And I haven't heard of anybody that disliked the film at all. Everybody has either liked it, loved it, or they thought it was okay. Or they liked it, but they still had complaints. But I've never heard of anybody saying that Star Wars sucked. All right, maybe there's some people out there, but at the end of the day, the general, you know, the box office shows, the critics and the feedback from the fans already shows that, you know, this is a crowd-pleasing film, and J.J. Abrams has won. I mean, he's really proved that he won't be called Jar Jar Abrams. That's what we were going to call him if he ended up screwing it up. But he didn't. He did such a good job, and now Star Wars is here to stay. Anyways, that's all I got to say in this video. I mean, I talked a lot about box office, and it's going to be really, really curious to see, really interesting to see where it actually ends off and how China is going to contribute to the worldwide box office. Anyways, let me know your predictions on the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. That concept art maybe is a little bit too scary looking for kids. So we're getting a more cartoony version, which is totally fine because that's quite true to the